Welcome, welcome, people. Welcome. What's up? What's up? What's going on? What's going on? How you guys doing? Welcome to another edition of He Said, She Said, and as usual, he will win in the conversation and the argument. I'm Peter Lloyd, and our host today is the one and only Alicia, also known as VivaKolor. I tend to say VivaKolor because I'm trying to sound, as if I'm.
I always wonder why you say color because there's no U in it.
I know, but I just want to say that it just makes me sound as if I have some kind of schooling kind of thing. But it's really VivaKolor, people. Welcome to another edition of He Said, She Said. Next week we'll be doing it on my channel. This week we're doing it on the Beautiful Adicia's channel. So the mood today, the topic is a topic that I was talking to someone with for over an hour. I hope she joins us. Well, let me click on comments to make sure that I can see the comments if anybody's here.
There's no one here yet.
Don't worry about it. They'll join us. Okay. Wait. I did something I shouldn't have done. See, when you borrow people's laptop. My daughter just cussed me off and said, "Dad, you need to get yourself a proper laptop.
You gotta get a MacBook."
Yeah. Oh, you're just like her. Apple. It's all about Apple. I'm a Samsung
person.
Like, come on.
They have all the features that you need.
That's what she keeps telling me. And I'm like, come on. Samsung to more than likely I'm gonna have to get it now. I'm gonna have to get it. She's right. The FaceTime alone will make me want to get the Apple.
Yeah.
Not that she wants to talk to me presently, but hey. Okay, so the mood today is, should a woman date a man who makes less money than she does, which is a very interesting one, and which several persons contacted me about this, and they were like, all women, of course. And the majority of them said, no, she shouldn't. She should not. And a few said, said what I said, love conquers all. It's all about love. Right? So, you know what? You can start, Alicia. You start.
All right. So I'm a big fan of love. And I know love does conquer all. It's the end to everything, but it doesn't pay the bills. But I do have a lot of key points. Mm-hmm. I did extensive research last night, and I have key points as to why I'm not against it. I'm in the middle, actually, because I feel that when you first meet someone, it's you should be honest with yourself first. Uh-huh. And by being honest, hey guys, by being honest with yourself first, then you can communicate to the person what you expect out of the relationship, or what your deal breakers are, or some things that you can deal with, or some things that you can't deal with. Okay. So saying that, I'm iffy about dating someone who makes less than me, because, for example, if I want to travel and he doesn't have the funds to do so, I might end up going on a trip by myself, or I might have
wait. See, immediately I have to jump in. Inspiration with Nicole. How you doing? Nadira X, I know you're here to make trouble, Nadira. Listen, see, I had to jump in a while ago because, look, if you, let's say I'm making $1,000 a month, and you're making $100,000 a month. You love me. All you have to do is pay for my trip. I mean, just pay for my trip. Because here's the thing, right? I consider myself a very liberal male. I understand the whole thing about, women standing up for themselves and, inequality and stuff. But I think if I'm dating Alicia and she's making $100,000 a month and I'm making $1,000 and she says, baby, I want us to go to Cancun.
Wait, If I'm making 100,000 US a month and you're making 1,000 a month,
Yeah, yeah,
oh my gosh.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I'm going to be like, okay, baby, get the tickets. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what is so wrong?
Fair.
How is that unfair? You are making 100 times, even if you're making 10 times what I'm making. If you love me, you care about me, then you see, this is what I'm saying. All right, Nadira, I know your inspiration with Nicole. Everyone listening, let's be honest. All right, women constantly talk about being treated as equals. You know, women say, I want to be treated as an equal. However, men want to be treated as equals also. Maybe what I'm bringing to the relationship might not be financial. It may be that I have the motion in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe I can make you, twerk. I mean, maybe I'm bringing an element to the relationship that is, that is just as important as back in the day when a man would say, she's raising the children or she's cooking. I mean, maybe I'm making you happy. Maybe. So if you're making, let's say you're making 20,000 US a month. Let's be more realistic. And I'm making 1,000 or 1,500 US a month. I mean, and I'm working. Maybe I'm not as educated as you are. Maybe I didn't have, but I'm still earning. I'm still trying to assist with the rent, etc. What if we want to go to Cancun? If you say to me, babies, Peter, you say, Peter, I want to go to Cancun. Why wouldn't you just say, okay, I'll get the tickets? Because you're earning 20 times what I'm earning. Why is it that we have a problem with this?
But Peter,
yeah,
it's repetitive. That's Cancun. What if in 3 months I want to go somewhere else? So I have to buy a ticket again?
But what's wrong with that? I mean, this is what I'm saying. Why do women have a problem with that?
It becomes a burden. It becomes a burden in the relationship, and it causes a lot of resentment.
But resentment, okay. But if let us say we reverse the role. Let's say I'm making 20,000 US a month, and you're making 1,500 a month. You would expect me to pay for Cancun or wherever else.
I would have the same views. Right. I feel the same way if it was flipped, vice versa.
Right.
I don't feel that men should date, women that they have to spend all the money on all the time. I don't feel that way. I don't feel if it was reversed, I would have the same feeling.
Really?
And I'm not saying that I would not date someone who makes less than me. It depends, like Nadira says, depends on the gap.
Yeah.
That's too far or less.
Nadira raises a point. She says he's buying the drinks on the vacation.
What if he can't afford to buy them?
Yeah, but listen, you do know. I don't know about the statistics in the United States, but I can tell you the statistics here in Jamaica. At university here in Jamaica, for every man that graduates university here in Jamaica with his first degree, we have 40 to 50 women who graduate. Literally 40 to 50 women in most jobs, because I did a little research myself, because I know you bright. I know you're coming with the stats. I also know that more women go on to higher education than men by far. This is globally, not just in Jamaica. So the men are out there. We're trying to hustle. We're trying to get that money, make that paper, right? But you are in, say, a corporate gig. You're making good money, kind of stuff. And love. You said you're a believer in love, so love should be enough. So what I'm earning shouldn't matter as long as I love you. You love me. I'm respectful. I'm not cheating. I'm not. I'm making meals. I'm rubbing your feet. I'm bringing to you things that that should make up for the fact that you're making 20 times the money. So why should there be resentment? Inspiration in Nicole says, I'd rather a man who does an honest living, making less than me, and is loyal. You see, respects me, treats me like a queen, etc. If you're making less than me is only the issue, that's workable. See, inspiration with Nicole, me, you can't get on. We can't get along.
I agree with Nicole.
Yeah.
I agree with her.
But you just said what happens in a few months, or
But Peter, that's realistic. I do agree with what Nicole says, that, as long as he has those core values and treats me like a queen, but there's going to be a moment where there's going to be friction there because he's not bringing in any money, and you're going to get, as a woman, you're going to feel frustrated that you have to keep spending your money on this man. So it's kind of iffy.
No, but let's, okay, so we are living together, and let's say the light bill comes up to 200 US. I say, okay, baby, I'll handle the light bill. I'm paying the light bill. All right, you don't have to stress. All right, and I'm still out there making that paper. Nadira says, "Broke, loving, sweet." But, he making up for the gap with the loving. But look, all I'm saying is, I think there's a bit of sexism here. That's what's happening. Because had it been reversed, I mean, I know you're saying it doesn't matter, but society expects, if I'm making 20,000 US a month and you're making 15, society doesn't expect me to say to you, then you pay the light bill. You know what I'm saying? Because society is going to say, I'm making enough money. And that is, for me, that's sexism. It's unfair to us as men. Why? It's almost as if women are saying, I want to be liberated, but I still want you to treat me like a queen.
So that's up to men to think a little different. Men can say, no, lady, you don't make as much as me. I'm not dating you.
Yeah.
But men usually date women that don't make as much as them. They choose that.
Now, I don't think they choose that. I don't think it's a choice situation. I don't think men, I mean, and I don't want to sound sexist in any way because I love and respect you queens as a king. My thing is, I mean, I don't know what Nadira is going to say. Inspiration with Nicole, I missed it. She said, if a man isn't trying at all and sits down home not looking for work, that's different. That's what I'm saying. This brother is working, he's a mechanic, whatever he's doing, he's working with his hands, he's an electrician, but he's just not making that corporate buck that you're making, you know what I'm saying? And maybe he has a plan in the long run. He's going to say, look, give me a couple of years, I'm going to start my own electrical company.
So Peter, so initially, this is like, say I just meet this person and we're talking on a date, and he says, I do this job and I make 50,000 a year. That's where we are.
Yeah, right. So, and you're making 500,000 a year, or $1 million a year. So, I mean, it comes down to, because women say, I have female friends who say, no, I'm not dating no broke ass N-word.
Well, in that sense, if the date goes well, I'm not going to cancel him out because he told me that he makes 50,000. I'm going to see what type of person he is, because it's going to take time to see if this man is going to be true to me or he's going to be another flop.
So let's say he's true to you. He hits all the buttons right. In bed, he's fire. You know what I'm saying? He rubs your feet. He opens the door. Where he can contribute financially, he tries, and he sits with you and he says, look, baby, I know I'm making 1,500 right now, but I'm putting some money aside because I have a plan. I'm going to, buy a fleet of vans. I'm going to, hire people and start my own business. All right. And he's just saying, just be patient with me, because, I'm going to eventually get there. What inspiration that Nicole is saying, I get, because she's saying, look, if he's just, broke, he's not even trying, he's just sitting down at home because you making 20,000, so he's living off you. I get it. But what I think is unfair, though, is that women often, I'm going to give you a personal experience. In my late teens, I was dating this young lady who was, she was a manager in one of the top computer companies in Jamaica at the time, right? And I had just left university, no, in fact, I was still at university. I ain't making no money. I'm doing my little stuff on the side. I'm making enough money to pay my bills. And everywhere she wanted to go was like rich people. You got to be rich to go to. She didn't want to go to the average dinner place. There's a place in Kingston called Jade Gardens. And back in the day when I was in in first year, second year university, I mean, you had to have paper to go there. You taking a girl there, you had some money. And everywhere she went, she wanted to go to these places. And she had a car. I didn't. She was making really good money at the time. To me, it was great money. I didn't. I mean, I was just, hustling. And she was insistent that I paid for everything. You know, like you have to pay for everything. You're the man. And I'm saying, but you are making 10 to 20 times what I'm making. How can I pay for everything? And eventually when I spoke to my dad said, listen, she don't mean you no good. If that woman really cares for you, she would not do that. She would
She's
say,
still the
okay,
wrong girl for you.
yeah, yes, 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 she was definitely the wrong girl. But what I'm saying is, very often in our society, even if the woman is making much more money, she expects the man, and this is the thing now, she expects the man to go half. How can I go half? If I'm making 1,500 a month, you're making 2,000. I can't go half. There is no way. You get what I'm saying? There's no way. You know? Nadira says she is selfish. Yep, she was very, very selfish, without a doubt. Why do you think, though, that so many women have a problem with dating men who are making way less money than them?
Like you said before, it's the society. You know, it's what's normalized in society and what the media promotes. You know, and it's man dominating society. So most women, I won't say all, most women have this attitude that let him pay for it. And because a lot of men hold the top tier jobs, you know, and I was having this discussion with my friend the other day, and I thought women held the top tier jobs, and he said, no, it's men still. And I'm like, wow, women are really doing stuff in 2021, but men are still making more money and have the same title as a woman at the same job. And so, you know, women get a little mad and they're like, let him spend his money since he's making the most money in this dominating society.
Yeah, but then what about the other issues in a relationship? What about love? What about compassion? What about you know, us becoming a power couple and working together to build something? I don't think when Jay-Z met Beyonce or the other way around, I'm pretty sure it was Jay-Z who made the move. You know, shout out to Jay-Z, but I'm sure I don't think Beyonce said, hey, I'm going to go check Jay-Z. But I'm sure that when they met, I mean, she was making her paper and he was making his paper. I don't think she said, you know what, Jay, you got to pay for everything. You know, I mean, you're the man here. You know, you're CEO of a record label. You gotta pay for everything. I'm saying, why? How is it that women complain? Because the point I was making earlier is that if there are more women going to university and graduating, if more women are entering the professional fields, obviously what your friend said, it's going to eventually change. It's going to change where the women are the dominant economic force. I mean, I'm seeing it happen. It's happening faster here in Jamaica. In fact, that's why I think we're having so many problems between men and women here, because men are told, you know, you're the lion, you're the hunter, you know, you have to be dominant in the relationship. And I know that it can be embarrassing for a man if he finds out. In fact, I have two female friends right now who they are in long-term relationships with their significant other. One is their significant other, the other it's her husband. And they are afraid to tell him what they earn because they're earning like 15 times what he's making. They refuse to tell him.
Is that because they don't want to hurt his ego?
I kind of think so. I think for a generation of men, this is a problem. But I kind of get the vibe that the younger men, the men in their teens now and in their early 20s, I don't think they care about whether or not you're making more money. You get what I'm trying to say to you?
Oh, definitely. Because in my DMs, it's a bunch of 20-something-year-olds. They you know, they call me MILF, and I'm like, MILF? What? They want me, and I'm like, what the hell? I don't want you. You know?
No, I can relate to that though. I can relate to that because I mean, in my teens, in my late teens, early 20s, into even my early 30s, I didn't date women who were less than 15, 20 years my senior. And it had nothing to do with the money. I just found that women at that stage were a little bit more liberal sexually. And I found that they could teach me more. And I think also they're kind of more attractive. I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say to you. I mean, you know, it's a complete package. You have an idea of what you're seeing. And I think a lot of young men, I mean, you're a beautiful woman, so I think a lot of men, young men will see you. I don't think the thought initially is, oh, she's making money. I think the thought is, less stress. It's less stressful because sometimes, I mean, when I dated girls my age then, it could be very stressful. I mean, I didn't want to lie to anyone to get certain things. You don't have to do it with a grown woman. She understands. She's more liberal. So it could just be that. Of course, another part of it could also be that there's a generation of young men coming up. I mean, my nephew once said to me, he was living with us, and he said he was going on his first date, and I'm like, here's some money. And he's like, Uncle Peter, no, she has to pay. What? What? I said, yeah, she has to pay because, I mean, and his reason was this. I mean, if I spend my money on her, she's going to go back and tell her friends and they're going to laugh at me spending my money. And I'm like, oh, but that's how I was brought up. I was brought up by my father to open the door. And if she says there's a spider, I'm the one to get rid of the spider. I'm the one to get rid of you get what I'm trying to say to you? Right. So I think maybe this generation of men are different, though.
Very different because, for example, with that date thing, and I don't want to get off topic, but for example, I see a lot of men nowadays saying, if the woman asks me out on a date, she has to pay. And I'm like, what? Why is that such a big deal? Why not just split the bill?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because of the same thing that my nephew at the time told me. It's this fear. It's the fragile male ego. I think it's a fragile male ego. I kind of learned very early on that if a woman cares about you, then she'll care how you spend your money.
Right.
She'll care about these things. I mean, I've learned from my sisters and my dad that if I go to pick up Alicia to take her out and she has 3 of her girlfriends waiting with her, she either doesn't care about me or she doesn't trust me. It's one of the two things, and none of those two things are positives. You know what I'm saying? But if I go there and it's just her, it means that there's a certain degree of emotional and economic intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I kind of think women. I'm not saying that we men we don't look ahead, right? But men naturally believe that we're going to end up earning more money. So in other words, even if I start dating you, you're making 20,000 and I'm making 1,500. In my mind, in a few years, I'll be making 100,000 and you'll still be making. You get what I'm trying? It's a male ego kind of thing. Inspiration that Nicole says 2 people should be able to build together. He might be making less than you, not by choice, but due to circumstance. If he earns less, he might be making it up in other areas.
Right. And I'm fine with that. I love that, Nicole. I love that. But what I'm saying is, after you meet the person and they tell you that they're making this, you have to get to know them to see if he can make up in those other areas. And that's why I say it's important to communicate. Like I would communicate to him, like, I don't know how comfortable I am going to be with dating you and you make this and I make that. And I want to go on a trip and I might have to pay for you or such and such. And I don't want to go by myself. So it's important because you have to be honest with yourself, I think, number one. Because I'm going to say, am I going to be able to date somebody who's going to make that much? Am I going to be comfortable? Even if he does all these things for me? Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he's lucky, he might end up like, what's her name again? I'm seeing her in my mind. That pop singer that shaved her head. Lovely young lady, but she ended up shaving her head. She married to some guy and she ended up paying him alimony. He's making Spears? Britney Spears, ex-husband. He's good to go. Like, I mean, poor Britney. Britney seems to be the nice young lady, but
her father taking her money.
Yeah, that's a little messed up, though. I mean, but again, you see, for me, if there's this there's this paradigm that I think men find ourselves in, because if we are told constantly that we should be the breadwinners, and there are more and more women now who are doing better financially than men, I'm not sure many men can. I mean, even if those young men hitting you up in your DM, I'm not sure if men are designed in a way where we can actually be with a woman and consciously know she's making way more paper than I'm making. There's not even like a comparison. I mean, I'm sure that must lead to, because this goes against everything that our society tells our men, right? So I can see that becoming a problem even for the man. Even if he says initially, you know, like it's like me dating that girl from there's so many of them that I like. Anyway, just, it's just like me dating one of these supermodel types, or these, that girl that she started. What's her name? She started Kerry Washington. Let's say I go somewhere and let us say I'm not involved, and I'm in Florida, and Kerry Washington drives into me accidentally, right? And I come out, and I'm like, yo, and I'm like, Kerry Washington, and she thinks I'm kind of like hot, and we end up dating, and she says, oh baby, we get to that point where it's, oh, I love you. I mean, I would have to understand that Kerry Washington, I mean, if she's doing her stuff right, she's making some serious paper. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I'm okay, but I'm making Kerry Washington paper. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not sure how. I mean, and I think I'm a very liberal man. I think it would matter how Kerry Washington would treat me. If she's going to be saying to me constantly, remember, I'm making more money than you. You know what I'm saying? Or remember, that's my car you're driving, or you're in my house, that kind of stuff.
That can happen with women sometimes. We step out of line.
But you see what I'm saying? So hold on there. So it's the same. Women are just the same then. Like a man who was making all the money. I mean, you're going to demand certain things, and that's a little unfair. I would have thought that.
I feel like what Nicole said before, as long as the man is progressing toward, and you said it also, Peter, progressing towards a business, you have to put these things on the table early. You have to ask him, where are you going to be in the next 5 years? What are you planning to do to make more money? You really have to be honest with each other, because it's not good. It's really not going to work with a woman making far more than a guy. He's going to end up being jealous, resenting her, and just, it's going to be a mess.
Well, I mean, the other day, J-Lo was dating a dancer, right? She was dating a dancer.
And it didn't last.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't last. They didn't last. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, J-Lo. He's stupid, J-Lo. I'm here, girl. I'm over here. It's not good. You need a Jamaican Rastaman, J-Lo. You date the wrong people. So
Nicole said men's ego are hurt too if he makes less. A real solid man who wants to provide and fully take care of you will be hurt if he makes less than you.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I can say that straight up. I've dated a few women who are making more money than me, and
right. How did that make you feel? That's a good point.
The sex was great. So, I mean, I was okay most of the time. Okay, I'm just messing around. I think I'm very liberal. I came from a very liberal kind of background. My parents were very liberal. My dad was the breadwinner, but I mean, as long as, I mean, if you're making a couple more thousand than me, I can live with it. I'm okay. I'm still progressing. You know what I'm saying? I can still contribute to the bills, etc. But it would become a problem if any of these women, and none of them did, started to remind me, baby, remember that I'm making more money than you, kind of stuff, And I've seen men do that to women in the presence of other people. So I can't imagine how I would feel as a man if
they can remind you without saying those exact words. For example, if she wants to take a trip and she's like, well, are you going to get your ticket? That's another reminder without actually saying, I'm doing better than you.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand that. But I mean, if it's about love, and you said you're a believer in love, then if the man fulfills everything that you need in a man, except financially, but he's progressing, he's taking his time, then you're gonna pay for the tickets automatically. Because the truth is, if it were reversed, he wouldn't even ask you about that. He just said, baby, can you make it to Cancun? And I'm saying this is a little unfair. This is something that women do that I think is unfair. hair.
Nadira said, I love vacation every 3 weeks. And I don't want to go by myself.
Well, I mean, I've seen situations where the man couldn't afford it and she went with someone else. I've
That's
actually
playing on the relationship.
yeah, that relationship ended almost instantaneously.
See?
It did. And a couple of years later, he was making way more than her.
Ooh, so she should have had patience, right?
But that's what I'm saying, because that's another part of the problem. You
Well,
know,
you don't have patience. Our clock is ticking constantly.
Oh man. I mean, I just think if you were in love with a person, though, I mean, are you saying that love is not enough? Because if you were in love with him, I mean, isn't that enough? Why would that affect you?
No, I do believe love is the end and the strongest feeling ever. Like what you guys said, I would consider someone, as long as he's progressing. I have to see the progression. If I don't see any, and that takes time, so it's gonna be like I'm gonna be iffy about getting with someone who's not making that much yet, and I don't know where it's going. I have to know this is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, I can feel that. I can feel that. I mean, that sort of makes sense. But if it's a situation where you guys meet and there's just all this crazy chemistry, and you just click, because I mean, you're mature. I'm sure you've had that experience at least once already. I mean, I've met people and we just click, and you don't have those conversations. I mean, you should have, but you don't, and you end up in that because, like I said, I have a very close friend who left someone who was financially very secure and started dating someone who was so financially insecure it was almost terrifying. And on top of being financially insecure, he abused her emotionally and cheated on her. And I was like, man, this guy's crazy. He's an idiot,
Wow.
But I've seen men cheat in that situation, and the cheating comes from low self-esteem because they know she's making so much more money. It's almost as if they're lashing out, and that's the way they choose to lash out. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think this is a very complex kind of. It's funny, but it's not funny.
Right. Nadira said a good point. Love should inspire him to progress, and in the end, he should be growing. Right. If his love is so strong for me, he should say, I wanna do what she does. And she just gets up and she wants to travel. I should be paying for those tickets.
Okay, but even if he starts to make good money, classic example, Oprah Winfrey's I don't know why they're not married. They're such a great couple. What's his name again? The doctor. Stedman. No. I remember seeing one where she said, when they met, he was doing okay, but she's Oprah. He's probably never going to catch her. All right. And the last thing I read, he's making maybe a couple millions per year, but she's a billionaire. He ain't going to catch her. He's in his 60s. He is not going to catch her. But he's making, by normal standards, extremely good. He's a multimillionaire.
Right. But they've been together since she became, a billionaire, I think.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Right. I mean, and I remember back in the day, me and some of my friends talking about this whole thing with Oprah and this gentleman, and we were saying maybe she doesn't want to marry him because he is not a billionaire also.
Or maybe she don't want him to get her money.
But that's what I'm saying. But what is but this is what I'm saying. If you're at that place, she's been with this man forever. She's been this man since she was big, then thin, then big, then thin. She's been with him for a very long time. All right. And I'm not being rude because I actually like Oprah. I'm just saying they have been around forever. Like, he's fully gray now. He wasn't, you get what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah.
Why not just go ahead and, because I don't think she has any children. So just marry the man. Just marry him. I mean, what is this? You're not gonna stay here forever.
I think with that, Peter, some people feel that marriage might ruin the relationship.
Yeah.
Once they commit to that.
Right.
It does for some people. They were fine, and then they get married and the expectations change.
Right.
Right.
I get it. I get it. But what do you think of a situation like that where he has progressed, but he just will never catch her? It's just not possible. What do you think about that?
With Oprah, she just doesn't want to get married. But I think for most women, maybe like you said, he's not a billionaire. And she might feel that he's not on my level. So let's just keep it the way it is.
So what you think
is fine.
Yeah, but you seem to be implying though that women, when many women accrue money, they become emotionally cruel almost.
No.
But I mean, but men don't think like that. Men generally don't care if I'm a billionaire and I meet Susie and Susie's making 30,000 US a year. I don't care one way or the other because I have so much money. It's about me and Susie, yet what I'm trying to say to you.
Right.
But you seem to be implying that women think a little differently. Hold on there. Nadira X says, he makes her happy and these people are operating on other levels in terms of being a brand. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I never thought about it. If they want to get married, they can do a prenup. Or they can get married like Janet Jackson was married to this guy for years and didn't tell anybody that they were
Yeah.
Because of the whole brand issue. I guess at that level it's a little different. So let's not use let's use Alicia. You have your company and your company is doing well and then it explodes. And you meet Peter. And Peter's doing okay. He's doing all right. But then the gap starts to widen, and although Peter's doing better and better and better, your brand becomes global. You are employing 100,000 human beings. Peter's employing 100, 200. By normal standards, Peter is doing extremely well, but he's never going to catch you. He just can't.
I would be fine with that.
You'll be fine with that.
I would be fine with that because you're still doing your own thing and progressing. It would not be a burden on me, or I wouldn't be a burden on you.
Mm-hmm. You think that's what the Bible meant when it says, be not unequally yoked? You think that's a part of what the Bible is saying? Don't marry broke people if you're not broke. Or is it saying only broke people should marry broke people kind of thing? I just kind of think that I'm just surprised by how many women, when we posted this topic, were saying, obviously, she needs to marry a man at her own level. And I was like, yeah, what? I did not expect that. I didn't see that one coming. I was like, I kind of thought women would be more, compassionate. They'd be more like, no, that's not really true.
I spoke to a lot of women and they said the same thing. Nope, it ain't gonna work.
Wow.
And I spoke to men and they were getting upset with me.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, you sound like a gold digger. I'm like, I sound like a gold digger.
but kind of, you kind of do. Think about it, because what you're saying is, if you and I were in a situation and I'm making 5 million US a year and you're making 50,000, I don't think I would ever say to you, pay the bills. I'd like, come on, baby, let's go. But you're saying for most women, if you reverse the process, that's not what's going to be. In other words, women are just as sexist as men. That's what you're saying.
But Peter, I wouldn't go date a guy just because he has money. I'm not that type. So that's why I don't see it, different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But if you end up with someone who's making way less, then that becomes a problem.
No, it won't become a problem. Like Nicole said, he has to treat me like a queen. He has to make it up in other areas that are like unimaginable.
Yeah. A friend of mine right before this, I don't want to comment, but a friend of mine said, the men who have no money are the best lovers. It's like,
they want us to do.
Like, what?
All the time in the world for energy.
I guess what you're saying is they have to create a balance, right? The
men who suck are busy.
Oh God. That's funny. Nadira X says, feed Maga dog, tongue out and bite too. That's a very Jamaican saying, people, if you're not understanding what we're saying. But I mean, to me, I was kind of surprised how so many women saw it that way, because I thought, I mean, all the men I spoke to were like, you know, I mean, I'm not making as much money as her. I mean, I'll eventually catch her and pass her, kind of stuff. I mean, it's all good. But almost every woman, I mean, Nadira X was the only woman who said otherwise. Every other woman said, no. You're not gonna date him. And I'm like, what is this? So I mean, so all these women are going to be competing for the 10 men who have money. I mean, what's going to happen? What's up with that? I mean, you know, I just kind of, that's to me, I was
something important. She said that a lot of men with money, they use it as a power tactic. You know, it's so power for them.
Inspiration with Nicole, that means the women who have money are going to do the same exact thing. I mean, it sounds to me like they're going to do the same exact thing, because they're going to be reminding us, hey, remember, you ain't got no money. You know?
No, she ain't going to say that. She's just not going to take you on that trip. She's not going to pay for your dinner when you go out.
That's crazy, though. That's because, let's think about what I'm saying. That's crazy. You're making $5 million a year. I'm making 50,000. Why would you care? I mean, this is what
for me, Peter, I'm telling you, as long as that man treats me like a queen and I'm on cloud 9, I would not have a problem with, oh, I'll take care of that. Oh, let me get your ticket. That's it. But nowadays in 2021, you don't know what to expect from these men.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
I don't know. I'm not sure I can.
Trying to use you.
Yeah.
You know, it could be fake love.
But here's the thing. I don't know if you saw this meme. I saw this meme on Instagram, and it blew me away. It was a woman of African descent from America. I do not like the term African American. It makes no sense to me. Beautiful young lady, and she's talking to this young man, I think in Ghana, right? I don't know if you saw it. And like, she was upset, she thought, she said she thinks he's cheating on her in Ghana. And I mean, you know, obviously it's one of those relationships where she sends him money, and I guess he's going to go to the States eventually, and they're going to get married. And let me tell you something. When he finished talking to her, I was like, yo, this guy is smooth. I mean, he was like, no, baby. What? That girl, I don't even know that girl. She's just jealous of our love, baby. She's just jealous of our love. Baby, look at you, baby. You're so sweet. And I mean, within half an hour, she was like, oh, it's okay, baby. I mean, I don't know why I would think that. I was like, yo, this guy should have a school. He should teach us.
It's so sad that I find that to be crippling, that men do those things, you know, to us. And then men wonder why women are so hardened towards them.
Yeah, but I mean, wait a minute. But here's this now. This is what I'm talking about, sexism. Blessed one, what's going on? Welcome to the chat. Here's the thing now. What you're saying is sexist, because you say men, as if you're telling me that you don't think women ever use men financially.
Of course, all the time.
But so don't you think that he could be speaking to her out of love? You know, I mean, he really loves her. He's not cheating. You know, he just happened to be in love with this woman who's making a lot more money, and she's fine. Couldn't it be that?
I find it to be very hard to know if he's true, if he's living in another country.
Yeah, but come on. Couldn't she be cheating also wherever she is? Why do we always assume this is going to be our next topic? We got to talk about this next. Because, I mean, because what you're saying, just think about what you're saying. Nadira says, scamming talk sweet. Nadira, how do you know that?
Yes.
How do you even know that?
He's a scammer. And he's just like the lady that scammed Bruno, that said the guy that said he was Bruno Mars and scammed that poor lady out of money.
What? I don't know about that. What was that?
There's a man, a scammer, who claimed to be Bruno Mars, and he scammed this 50-something-year-old lady out of $10,000.
Okay,
so he was Bruno Mars, and he loved her, and he needed money, and she gave it to him.
she thought that Bruno Mars, okay, like of all the people on the planet of God's earth, right? Bruno Mars saw her, fell for her, and Bruno Mars needed $10,000. Why
Yeah.
would Bruno Mars? And she sent him the
He
$10,000.
sent him the $10,000 where he was in South Africa, and she
And
got
Bruno Mars was in South Africa.
like these are the things that we have to watch out for as females. You know, that's why I'm apprehensive. This is why women think the way they are. Like, if I have money, I have to be careful dating this guy because he might be an opportunist.
But don't you think men think the same exact things? I mean,
No.
I have a few friends who are.
I don't think men think like that.
Yes. I have friends who are very, very wealthy. I have a couple of friends who are actually literally billionaires, and at least one of the two never ever tells women what he does for a living. Not initially, because he's the same thing. He's worried that, they're going to see him then as a bank. The other one tells everybody what he has because he's using that to get girls. But at least one of the two doesn't do that. I mean, I think it's kind of. I mean, again, it's sexism. It's sexism.
Yeah, it is.
You're sexist.
We're in a sexist society.
Wow. At least you're mature enough to concede that truth. Because, okay, this is how I see it, right? I think, I really think it shouldn't matter to the woman if she's earning way more money than the man, as long as he treats her well. As Nadira X says, broke men are the best lovers, apparently.
You get all the time in the world, Nadira. In practice.
Oh my gosh. No, sir. The thing is, I have to admit, in my late teens, early 20s, I only dated women. When I was 17, I was dating a woman who was 57.
Whoa.
She's 57, gorgeous, beautiful, lovely human being. I didn't want to date girls in my age group or younger because they were just stressful and they were silly. I remember dating someone. I was 21 and she was 39 and a divorcee. And I was going out one night and I told her I'm going on a date, and she loaned me one of her cars and gave me money and gave me condoms. Seriously. She's like, baby, have a good time. Just make sure you come home safe. And I came back home and it was all good.
That's another thing too. Like, a lot of women don't want to be seen as the man's mother, Mm-hmm. When you, here, take some money. Oh, here, go in my wallet. Oh, here, go in my pocket. You're coming off as his mother.
Yeah, but I didn't ask. She just gave it. I took it, drove the car.
I think that's a problem too, that sometimes women make that mistake. Like, you're treating him like your son, not like your husband or boyfriend.
Right.
We want to get out of that. Let him be a man.
But hold on there now. If that's the case, then it means that when the man is treating the girl that way, he's treating her like his daughter or like he's her dad?
Sometimes, yes.
Wow, I never even thought about it. Nadira X says you were dating Madonna. Nadira. Oh my God.
If they home not doing anything whole day, they better be good at loving.
Well, I mean, you said it. I mean, you have a lot of time to practice. You have to make sure your back is okay. Make sure you're.
Have dinner cooked.
Yeah. I mean, because I remember the first time I heard the term house dad. I didn't understand it. Because this is something that's foreign to Jamaican men. You know this, but I think there's a whole generation of men now, younger men who. Yeah, they think the woman should pay. I've actually had young men say this to me. Of course, she should pay. Look at what she's getting. I'm like,
Caribbean men are an exception. Mm-hmm. They think the reverse. Caribbean men, most of them think that the woman should take care of them, mind them. That's the word.
Yes, yeah, right, right. Not all, not all
Oh,
Caribbean,
but
not
a
all.
lot of Caribbean men just have this mentality, like she should take care of me
Well, I
because
mean, you know
I have this.
what a good friend of mine told me, right? The person said, she's in Canada now. She just got married to a Jamaican in Canada, and beautiful girl, right? And she told me when she first went there, she was having a problem finding men to date because she said when all the Jamaican men landed in Canada, they were swooped up by the Caucasian Canadian women, and and those women took care of them. They rubbed their
Mhm.
feet, rubbed their bellies, paid their bills, and I was like, "Yo, that's pretty tempting. Maybe I should move to Canada." I was like, really? She was like, yeah. So she was saying the women of African descent there, and you know, they could not find men of African descent to date because as those men landed in Canada, the Caucasian women just went swoop, swoop, and they paid for everything. They bought them cars, paid their rent, and I was like, you know,
Wow.
I was like, you know, that's not really that bad. I mean, you know, that's
Whoa.
I mean, that come on, that's tempting. That's pretty tempting, and maybe that's where this mentality is now is coming from. Where West Indian, some West Indian men, the younger ones at least, are saying, you know, she should pay it. You know, I when I had what a couple of young men I spoke to about this conversation, they actually said, "Yo, I mean, why shouldn't she pay? Look at what she's getting. You know, I take care of myself. I go to the gym. You know, I drink Trong back, some back strong."
That's the thing. They think that sex is all that women want. A lot of these men, they think, oh, I got this. That's all she needs.
Right.
As long as they have that, they think they got us down packed. No, you don't.
No. No. No.
No.
You know, I was hoping these guys would be in the stream though, because it would be nice. I'll send them over to the stream, but let me
Yeah.
tell you, if we think about this honestly, right, this is really like reverse sexism. Because really what you're saying is if you have the money, the man still has to find his way. But then you're also saying that if the man has the money, you shouldn't have to pay anything.
No, 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 I'm not.
You're not.
I'm saying if I have the money, he should show some ambition that he wants to achieve some more, so that he doesn't feel any type of way because I'm here making more money or trying to build another life, more
Right,
life.
right, right.
And I also feel if the man has the money, I should do the same thing, try to get my own so that he doesn't kick me to the curb.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of understand that. I can understand the insecurity that would come from that situation. You know, but what I'm telling you, what's happening here in Jamaica now, because more and more women are getting higher education.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in the next 20 years in Jamaica, women will be dominating the space financially. Inspiration with Nicole says, Caribbean men who grew up in homes where they were cuddled and taken care of by their moms tend to be the ones who always want women to fully take care of them.
Yep.
That's interesting. That's interesting. I mean, I grew up in a two-parent home. My parents were very liberal. I had to wash the dishes. I learned to cook when I moved out at age 17. I moved out very early because I wanted to be able to do whenever I wanted to. That's the real reason I moved out, to be very honest with you. Um, but but I can understand that. I can understand it. I can say that when I was dating older women, it had nothing to do with their finances. That never crossed my mind. I just didn't want to have to lie to a young girl to get access to Dugu Dugu, if you get what I'm trying to. I don't know if you all understand what I'm saying.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, and all the women you didn't have to do that. They were like, okay, let's go Dugu Dugu. I mean, they were just, it was a different thing.
Right.
But I can see what Inspiration Nicole is saying, because yes, a lot of Caribbean men do grow up in situations where we are coddled by our mom, especially if you have the mom and the grandmother, you have sisters there, you're the only boy kind of stuff, so you kind of leave the home expecting that kind of stuff. But then again, I can understand if a man goes to Nadira X, stop talking about Madugu Dugu, okay? Because so but be honest though. I mean, if I land in, I'm an immigrant and I land in Toronto, what I'm saying, and I meet, these beautiful young Caucasian women, and they're like, hey, I'll pay the rent, what was that? I'll pay your rent. That's what's his name, Babyface, that Babyface song, right? So they're singing the Babyface song to me. I think I can see where that would be kind of tempting, for me to say, okay, I don't have to do anything. I'm driving a nice car. But I also think the male ego is going to jump in at some point, because at some point, she might say, I bought everything that you have, kind of thing, everything, the clothes on your back kind of stuff, yeah, so I think that could be I don't think my ego would be able to handle that.
Right.
At this point. I mean, kudos to men who can do that.
See, and that you made a good point. That's a lot of men, the egos. They cannot handle, eventually down the line, they're not going to be able to handle a woman who's progressing more than them. There's going to be a problem in the relationship.
Yeah. I can see that happening unless they have such a great relationship where they treat each other as equals, and there's genuine love and respect for each other.
Right.
If it's that kind of situation, then yes, kind of stuff. But I mean, especially in where you live in the USA, right? Where based on what I've read, the school system for men of color tends to be not as good as, or the job opportunities tend to be. This is what I'm reading. I don't know how true it is. For those men, so those men can end up in those situations where they find themselves, the partner earning less. But I do agree with yourself and Nadira that, I mean, as a man, it would lead to resentment if you realize that your partner is making just way more money,
Right.
And I think that's why I told you my two friends, none of them have told their significant other that they're making way more money. They've actually lied. They've actually said the reverse. They've actually said, I'm making way less.
You gotta walk on eggshells.
Yeah. But I guess I can see where that would be a problem. Our male ego can be fragile. It can it can create problems.
And sometimes it's not even the woman saying I'm making more than you, it's just the man's insecurity at that point. If you see her going into the store and she's taking the money out of her bag to pay for whatever, and you can't pay for it, you're gonna feel some type of way, like, man, I can't even afford to buy my girl a shoes that cost $100.
But it depends though, because the thing is, I mean, I have girls, right? I have two daughters. And what I did, and this was a conscious decision, holding it. Blessed One says, intelligent, mature persons don't see age and money. They see being in love and respect each other. Yeah, I agree, but I agree with Blessed One. But I think that the thing about intelligent, mature, I don't think as many of us achieve intelligence and maturity as we'd like to believe. I kind of think the vast majority of us really don't ever get to that place. We get there mythically, but we don't really get there. But I was saying that I have two girls, and certainly by the time the second one came along, what I started to do consciously is I would, give her mom the card, give her mom the money, because I wanted her to see her mom paying. I wanted her to realize her power as a female and as a young lady. In fact, what I did is, especially my youngest, Nyla, the moment I found out her mom was pregnant, I would play this song by Harry Belafonte that goes, that's right, the woman is smarter, that's right. I played that 24/7 because I wanted her to understand that her being female does not make her any less than any other being. I mean, I wanted her, and I consciously gave her mom the card, gave her mom the money. I mean, I'm a forward thinker.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Because I wanted to empower her. So I kind of think both men and women need to be empowered. And Nadir and I were talking about the emotional maturity of men. the especially men of color, men of African descent, because we are kind of taught we don't deal with trauma, emotional trauma growing up. So the ego is a lot more fragile, as you say, and it can lead to a lot of issues, a lot of problems. You know.
Mhm.
Um, any final words?
Um, I don't want to be seen as a gold digger because I'm not a gold digger. I'm just saying that if someone sweeps me off my feet and he's making a lot less or whatever, he has to be in a position where he wants to build with me and do more than just have that job where he's making that. Just do more. I just want to see you do more and try more financially, and I'll be fine. I
So
don't
you're
want to
saying,
see you. I don't want to see him home all the time, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "Nothing new today. Same old." That's gonna turn me off.
yeah, I get it. I get it. So as long as he's trying, you're seeing him make progress. There's a plan, and he's implementing the plan. It's all good.
Right. And we communicate, I'll be your ride or die chick.
Right. Well, I'm still going to give you the last word because I think we should give you the last word. By the way, people, this series is called He Said, She Said. And what we do is every other week we work on the other channel. So next week, Thursday, we're going to be on my channel. Next week, Friday, I think, we're going to be on my channel. And then the following Friday, we're going to be on Alicia's channel, which is this channel. If you have not subscribed to her channel, I advise that you do. She's got great content. She's remarkable. Great content. So you should try and check her out. Inspiration with Nicole says, "I don't see you as a gold digger."
Oh, see?
Sweetie, yes,
Just being honest.
yeah. I mean, I can understand what you're. I mean, I can understand that. So, guys, every Friday we normally do this, but tomorrow we have. I'm inviting you to my channel, Peter Lloyd World. Tomorrow night, we at 8 p.m. we have the Royals in concert. We have 3 remarkable artists, one from Germany and 2 from Jamaica. Check them out. Going to be great. Follow us both on Instagram. I'm Peter Lloyd World on Instagram, and Alicia is Viva. I keep saying color, but she says color. VivaKolor. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be, sophisticated. That's what I'm doing. But the truth is, I think that the answer to the question where I'm concerned is depends on the kind of relationship that you're both looking for.
Right.
If it's just a roll in the hay, if it's just a dugga against a tree, in the cane piece, then it shouldn't matter one way or the other. But if you both get to the point where emotionally you want to be in each other's space, I think for the man's sake, he will have to step up and do everything he can to generate income. Because I think it's going to impact the relationship, even if she's the most supportive woman on the planet. And I think the woman should be a little bit more understanding and patient and realize that, Timbuktu wasn't built in a day. I'm not going to say Rome was built in a day. Timbuktu was not built in a day. It took a while. And work together. I mean, Blessed One said it. You come together as a team and as a couple, and you work together. If it's really just a roll in the hay, or some physical thing, then it is going to become a problem if she's earning much more than you are for the both of you, because your ego is going to kick in as a man, and her sense of self and security, because I think most women want to feel that their partner creates some sense of security physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. I think that's kind of important. Thanks, Nadira X, for the for the words of wisdom. Blessed One, thank you. Inspiration with Nicole, thank you so very much for making it He Said, She Said. I think we're going to have to agree to disagree slightly on this one, but I respect Queen Alicia's perspective. It makes sense. It makes sense. And I can understand why women are hesitant, because sometimes us kings, we don't step up the way we should step up. You know what I'm saying? But I just need us to understand that women need to understand that men are also emotional creatures. We do have feelings, uh, and that sometimes informs our behavior and how we behave in certain situations. And not all men are scammers. Okay, not all men.
Only the ones on the internet.
Some of the ones on the internet. Some of the ones on the internet. Any final words before we sign off?
No, thank you everybody for coming out, and this was such a great conversation.
Yeah. There are going to be many more.
Yeah.
Many more, many more, many more. Guys, thank you for making it. He said, she said here on VivaKolor. Again, if you have not subscribed to her channel, please subscribe to her channel. Next week, Friday, we'll be doing this on my channel, Peter Lloyd World. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. I am Peter Lloyd World everywhere. And Alicia is VivaKolor, not color. Everywhere. I meant to ask Nadira, when you say catfish, what does that mean? I'm Jamaican. What does that mean? Inspiration with Nicole says it's 10:05 a.m. here in London. Bye, guys. Good convo. Good night. Have a great one. Thanks for being here. All right.
Bye, Nicole.
Thank you, blessed ones. Thanks for stopping by. Nadira, thank you, guys. Love you all.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
See you next week. Night, Nadira.